Hello there, InVaders. Welcome back to another live stream. We're here with BBN, and we're here to talk about episode 6 and just the general overview of the series, like our opinions, discussion. Let's get to it. So, episode 6, I thought it was fantastic. 10 out of 10 for me. There's been little nitpicky things in some of the episodes, but I quite enjoyed this one, and I didn't think it was a fault with it. I liked that. Well, the main thing I liked was the fight. I thought the fight was fantastic, and I especially liked when Obi Wan cut his mask and got to see a bit of Anakin, see his scarred face, and I believe that Anakin, Vader, was trying to make Obi-Wan kind of feel better. Do you remember when he said that... what did he say? Yeah, do you remember when he said that it's not his fault, it's Vader's fault? And to me, that was kind of like easing his guilt. And I thought there was a bit of Anakin broke through. So I like that little thing because obviously he's not like full Vader yet. He's still like coming to terms with the dark side, and I liked like they shown a little bit of goodness in him. Because obviously there's always a good bit of goodness in him. Like even to the point where Return of the Jedi, when everyone thinks he's like full on evil, and then he manages to come back. Then when Luke obviously saves him. So I like that. And I liked Reva's kind of arc as well, because Reva, she kind of wants to attack Luke for like revenge for Vader. I think like she thinks that's her last resort now, so like she can't get Vader, so she's gonna get his son, which I thought was good. And I liked at the end that she couldn't do it, because I thought it just makes sense. It's like a gradual thing when it's like she's full on dark first few episodes, and then she redeems herself a bit. And I've heard rumours that she's going to have her own TV series as well. I don't know if that's true or not, but a lot of sources are saying that she's going to have her own series. So if that's the case, then I suspect it's going to carry on from there. Like it's going to carry on the redemption. So yeah. What did you think of the episode 6, Bibian?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Same kind of point of view. Really liked that fight, and obviously again, Ben Obi-Wan has been noble because of he was on about like, oh, I need to leave the ship so I can distract kind of Vader and get him away from shooting the ship with
Yeah.
all people escaping. And it's quite nice to see though that like pretty much all of them. Well, you can depend what you say. Some people might say, "Oh, stupid," but like it's nice to see they had this alliance and they were all like that to Obi-Wan. Oh no, you don't have to go. Stay with us. They wanted him to stay, didn't they? Like, and
Yeah.
they said we'd get through it together. And he's like, "What you on about? You literally just said we haven't got enough like shield and everything. We can't hold on. I need to go. I know he'll come after me." Like, and
Yeah.
obviously you're Leia was saying, "Oh, don't leave me," kind of thing, because he's grown more connected to him and all that.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then obviously it's sweet as well that you've got that character in Haja, who he was like, he said something nice to him. He was oh, make sure you look after her. And he goes, what, me? I'm nothing but like a con man and a liar kind of thing. And he goes, well, your word's good enough for me, because he showed like he kind of redeemed himself, didn't he, when he helped him earlier on getting the ship to
Yeah.
escape and all that. And even though he's a bit of like a con man, he knows like he's that whole thing of like sensing like that they got a good heart, really. Do you know what I mean? She's like, I want you to take care of her until she gets back, and thing at least. And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, whatever. And then yeah, then from there went on to when they had the fight, and it was really cool to see, from previous episodes, the progression of Obi Wan, and how he went from having like almost no force, just about having enough force, obviously under pressure to save Leia. Then he was using a little bit of force, the stormtroopers in the base to distract them.
Yeah.
Obviously the glass as well, holding that. But yeah, just more and more progression, and now he's at the point where obviously he had the fight with Vader, and first like Vader, obviously like he was stuck in like that pit, and all the rocks being put on him. He's just enough to hold it off. But not only that, he came out of that, and then he was using his force to smash up Vader really.
Yeah.
Um, and Vader was like, "What the heck?" Like, because before that, he was like, "Yeah, you might got some of your force back." Because when they were fight to face, he goes, "Oh, you might got some of your force back, but you're still not good enough." And then, well, yeah, he was good enough. So he just like obviously kicked him in really. Um, and lots of people calling for, and I was a bit like, "Why didn't he just kill Vader? Because this is just going to cause." More trouble down the line if you just kill Vader, job done. I mean, I know it doesn't. It would make sense in the timeline and the scope of things as well if he'd killed Vader. Um, but like if we hadn't known about the other stuff, like it made sense to just kill him in it. But people saying obviously about like, well, that's not Jedi way as well and stuff. I know you were talking about that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Before we go on, your camera is only showing half your face. Um, yeah, that's all right. That's bit more, bit more. Yeah, that's fine. Cool. Yeah, no. With the Jedi, see, they're not really supposed to kill people if like they're unarmed or they're like causing no danger. So like Vader at that point was obviously harmless when he was like Obi Wan cut up his like breathing part of the suit. He cut up his mask, and he couldn't even walk. Could he? He couldn't do anything. So like he kind of had to leave him. If you know what I mean? If he goes by like the true Jedi code. So it's a bit
Yeah.
like Christianity sort of. You have like different rules that you got to follow. Like maybe it's a bit like the commandments. Like you can't break those rules. If you break those rules, that's the path to the dark side, isn't it? And like with Christianity, sort of similar thing. You break the rules, and well, it's a bad thing to do. You could go to hell, in it. See, so it's like Jedi. Being a Jedi is a religious thing. It's a religion, and the Force is like sort of like their god, isn't it? You gotta treat it with
Mm,
respect, and you gotta follow it. If you break it, you're going down the dark path. So yeah, like
mm,
yeah, I can understand. Like, but I don't know. Maybe he could have had a chance before that, but he didn't kind of take it. But it was nice to have him have a little bit of a talk, and I feel, in my opinion, by him saying that it wasn't his fault because he feels really guilty and he knows he feels guilty about it and things like that. By Vader saying no, it's not your fault, it's my fault. It's like taking the guilt away from him. So I thought that was like a bit of Anakin coming through because obviously it wants to make him feel a bit better, but then like Vader comes back into it then and he's like, oh, I'm gonna kill you and stuff like that, and obviously Obi Wan then says, oh well, you truly lost in this. So it's
yeah,
a lot of comparisons to Revenge of the Sith, but I think in Revenge of the Sith he was a bit more full on like darkness. I don't know because he was like early on and stuff like that, and he was still obviously he killed a lot of younglings, things like that. So maybe the darkness was a bit more then, but no, he seems to have calmed down a little bit, and I liked at the end as well when he's talking to Palpatine, and Palpatine says that he can feel his feelings. He can sense that he has bare feelings for Obi-Wan. So he was like,
mm,
no, you're not going after him. Leave him alone. Because I think the Emperor's a bit worried, like if he keeps pursuing him, that eventually like his light side will come back. So he's like, no,
mm.
that's it now. And then like Vader kind of had to prove himself again and forget about him. So I liked that whole thing at the end. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, there's been a lot of standout characters, I think.
I
Um,
liked the episode as well. Like obviously the whole raver scene where, like you said, she went there like almost to kill Luke or to get some sort of revenge for herself in some way. But
yeah,
then yeah, she was flashbacks all the time of what happened to her, and you could see like yeah, you're talking about her coming like to more like the light side or wherever, and she was like just as she can kill him, she's like, nah, I can't do it because of she had flashbacks of what she's been through. Um, but yeah, I don't know. You said earlier about the potential of her on the spin-off series herself.
yeah,
Um, I don't see the need of that myself. I mean, I didn't like her character like Lords early on. Her character has grown on me a bit more now, and I
yeah,
like
yeah. A
how
few
it's
people have said
developed.
that.
Yeah, and I think like, I like how it's like developed and grown. Um, but I don't think like a character is like big enough then dynamic enough to have a spin-off series on her own. Like I think it'd be nice to see how she like carries on within this series,
Mm,
and how she develops through this series. But like to have a standalone series, I don't know. I don't think it's necessary right now. Anyway, maybe in the future, but I just don't think it's necessary right now.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, it was nice to see how she came back, and then yeah, the end scenes. And you had Darth Vader, as you said, it showed like he's like, "Oh, you what's going on here with you?" And Obi Wan and he was like, "No," he like kind of reaffirmed like, "No, you're my master," like to the Emperor. Like, "No,
yeah,
you're my master," and yeah, and then you seen like Qui-Gon on the end of it then, and he's like, "Where have you been?" He's like, "I've always been here," kind of thing.
yeah. A bit of a joke
uh,
like between them.
yeah, I mean, I think it's a fair way to like end it, and it leaves it like, "Oh, what's going on?" I would like to like maybe a more, I don't know, like a more dramatic, a more of a cliffhanger kind of ending, maybe. Because it's quite, I don't know, like quite a chilled out ending really. She found her way. Obviously, it split the three kind of main characters in there. Like River, she's gone through like flashbacks of, "Oh, I don't want to do that," and she's like showing redemption now in her character and coming into the light. Then you've obviously got Obi Wan now. He's got Qui-Gon there, so, like almost guiding him, or they're going on their next little adventure. And then you had Vader, then obviously like talking to Emperor, and he's like, "Nah, he's got to find himself again." So they're all kind of got to find themselves, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Who they are. Like it's like Darth's got to find himself. Like is he like he's got like fully the dark side, and but he's got a little kind of like niggle in him, almost as you said, where he was like being compassionate, saying it's not your fault. Then you had Raver, who's like always like been like kind of the dark, but for a reason, and she couldn't bring herself to hurt Luke. And then you got Obi Wan, who's like he's on his path. Where's he gonna go? What's he gonna do? He's kind of found himself again in the way that he's got his force like abilities back, and found himself like he knows his identity, he's a Jedi or whatever, and that he's found himself, he's part of that kind of code or whatever. But where's he gonna go next? What's he gonna do in life? So I
yeah,
think it's cool. I think it's cool in that way. It's like the three kind of main characters got to find themselves as human beings or whatever.
yeah,
um but I don't know. I'd like a little cliffhanger, I would have. And that is a
yeah.
cliffhanger, I suppose.
Yeah, there's a few
More like
nuggets in it. I think they left like.
more of a violent cliffhanger.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
want
know
more.
what you mean. Or like what's gonna happen next? Yeah, no, but
I want something
there are a few nuggets
hanging off.
because if you think of like Rokan's story, like that wasn't really finished. Like we don't see them actually go into this place called the Path. We don't know about him and his wife because he mentioned his wife, like she turned to the
Hmm.
dark side or something. It was, wasn't it? So we don't know about that. Also, we see Qui Gon at the end. he's like, Obi Wan, follow me. Like, where are they going? Do you mean like what's she trying to show him? You haven't seen like the conversation. You want to see like the deep conversation of what he thinks about Anakin and about everything really. Like we wanted to see a proper conversation, and we didn't want to see just a joke. So I think like there's a few things like even Reva really her story wasn't completely finished. Like because what is she gonna do next? Is she gonna still obsess over having revenge? What's she gonna do? I think like if there's a series 2, there's a lot of things they can go off like from that last episode.
Mm.
And it would I think most of the series is about kind of Leia, so it's like Leia's kind of story. Like in the next series, if they do one, like they should do like Luke or something, in my opinion, now, innit? Because he wasn't in
Yeah.
it much, and I think a lot of people might have felt a bit disappointed in that. Like maybe they wanted to see a bit more.
But
Um,
I think that's a logical progression, isn't it? We all had Leah side. She's had a little adventure almost and come
yeah,
back home. So she's had a little adventure, whatever, and come back home. But yeah, what's gonna happen, Luke? What's his little adventure?
yeah. Like I mean, it's not gonna always be hunky dory for him. Like they must have a few problems, even if it's just on Tatooine or something, innit? And then like side stories as well. Like I know Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen saying they want to do more. Um, I know Hayden Christensen's announced in the Ahsoka series, so he's going to be a bit in that as well. But he wants like a Obi Wan series to continue, so that would be good. I liked his performance. I know he didn't do much because he was in the fifth episode really. Um, and then he was in the sixth as well. Yeah, like he was in a few more, but he didn't really talk in them, and he was just in the
Mm.
suit and stuff in it. So it showed him like a bit acting a bit. Like it'd be nice to see a little bit more with him, like with outside of Vader's mask, and
Yeah.
so that would be good as well. But yeah, I think it needs at least one more series. I think it needs to do like this one was a Leia, next one a Luke, um, and I think that'll be right then. Like they can't do too much because obviously he's supposed to be kind of like hiding and stuff, innit? But they both want to do it. It'd be a missed opportunity, in my opinion, if they don't. As
Mm.
obviously they're really like a lot of people love those characters, don't they? But speaking of that, there has been a bit of backlash, I thought, in this series. Some people are saying that there's like a lot of silly things in the episodes. There's been criticism of Rave, some of it racist, some of it just like criticizing her acting or the script. Um, and some people just disappointed. Like obviously, this was a really hyped up thing, and people wanted it to be perfect, and it wasn't perfect, but I thought it was good. Like nothing in life is perfect in my opinion, and especially if you build it up too much, I think you're never gonna achieve it. It's never gonna happen. So yeah, there's been a bit of criticism, mostly positive, but there is a bit of criticism I've heard online. I know you've said a few things too. So have you got anything to say on that?
Um, no, I mean, I would say I'm a bit of a stickler for some things. Like, the overall of the series, I did love the series. Like, I'll be the first one to say I have nowhere near the depth of knowledge of, I don't even know, I'll be honest, like the chronological order of all the films and stuff like that. That's like,
It's a tricky one.
I don't know. Yeah, like that's more like you know a lot of that stuff. You're the more major thing. I've come into this kind of series with more kind of fresh eyes. I'm like,
Yeah,
all right, I haven't watched anything for a while. Let's have a look. There's a lot of hype behind the series, and to me, it was interesting to see kind of that relationship, to see like obviously like Leah and Luke or whatever when they're younger, and to see that kind of development too. So it was interesting. I was like, go on, I'll have a fresh stab at the franchise then,
yeah,
and I really 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 enjoy it. To me. it's like got my interest back into it, and I'm like as like a fan, but not like a mega fan or super fan. It's made me like excited for the new stuff that's coming out.
Yeah.
And I'll definitely be watching any new series or anything.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, there's little like stickler parts like which did bother me, like silly little things like how was like Darth Vader when like bothered me when he's holding whole ships and stripping them apart, but then he can't lift that droid up when he had Obi Wan and pull him over the fire and bring him to himself. Um, I think it's a bit Disney fighting things like when they shot down the gate. Um, when they were on that transporter on the I can't remember what episode, it was like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Um, um, they shot down the gate and the lasers went down where they made Tala first of all, and I was like, well, just walk around the gate. Like,
Yeah,
it's
true.
just and it's just some things is a bit Disney-fied, I would say, like a bit just for effect. And
Yeah.
another thing, like one thing as well is like a stupid. They've got glass underwater, and they've got stormtroopers who protect it with like blasters, which if they shot the window, they all drown. So it's like, and that's
Yeah.
their defenses. I don't know, just like I feel like I maybe myself as well. You can be a bit. Am I overthinking things? Am I taking the enjoyment out there to myself, or am I being a bit petty? But then it's like, at what point it's one of them. At what point do you just leave it be where it goes the other way? Then when it gets a bit too cabaret, a bit showbizy, and as I say, like Disney fine, just for like dramatic effect.
Yeah.
Um. So, but overall, I loved it. Yeah, I loved seeing these characters. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan of Raver at the start. I always said very cliche kind of character. Like you can understand cliche villain, you know what she's gonna be like and all this. And it was like predictable over the character, but a character development for me. I do quite like how it has been going and to the stage where it got to in the end. Um, I don't think still though she warrants a series to herself myself. Like, I mean, you could show her path or whatever. I mean, I'm sure they could do something good. Like they should, or they could like show her journey to finding and stuff, whatever. But a whole series just for her character, like I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do it, and I don't know. I just don't see like why she'd warrant it. As I said, I'd like another series now, of Obi Wan, where you could within Obi Wan itself, you could still follow them characters, but be in the Obi Wan sphere. You could see Obi Wan. You could see like Luke is maybe his story again. You could see Raver, and maybe you could see like a link up, obviously, again between Obi Wan and Raver. Maybe that's something they could do. Whilst on his journey, somehow he links up with Raver, but within the Obi Wan series sphere. But then
Yeah.
again, it's like, how are you going to bring Luke into that? You don't really want to do like copying too much? Well, is he going to get kidnapped or something again? Like, do you know what I mean? That kind of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly, yeah.
You don't want to do the same thing, do you? But how could they go about it then? Bringing Luke's character into it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, there's like lots of things they do, and as I said, as someone who's not like a mega super fan, who doesn't know like the little Easter eggs or stuff like that. Um. As someone who's coming at it with fresh eyes, I really enjoyed it, and it's made me think. I'm looking forward to newer series. I enjoyed the journey of the series so far, and I'd like to continue. Watching the series if there was another one. So
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah, you made good points because I think a lot of people think since Disney have taken over that they're just doing random things and not explaining it. So an example then. Um, the Emperor coming back in episode 9. Like, like at the start of the film, he just says, "Oh, Palpatine's back." Be like, yeah, how was he back then? Like, there's no explanation for it, and I think that was a major thing people didn't like. If they like corrected little things, I think all of the last three films would have been good. Um, well, the Last Jedi, they could have had at least one scene where like Han Solo, Leia, and Luke were all together. I think that's a missed opportunity, and I think Luke should have possibly gone off the island. Like, he just stayed in the island. I know we did a little bit of, like, force projection, but he died. You know, there's a few things that Disney
Yeah.
people have had complaints about, and it's the same with this series. Like, there's unexplained things, like, and there's one of the things I didn't like, especially, was when Obi Wan puts on the coat, the Empire coat, then, and the hat, and then you can see like Leia's. You can see Leia, like, as a person in the court. I mean, and I was like,
Yeah.
come on, all the stormtroopers, or everyone there, they did notice that this big bulge was coming out of the court in the shape of a little girl. Like, and if they looked on the floor, they could see her feet. Do you know what I mean? It's just, that was a bit
Yeah.
silly, and there has been a few silly things. But if you take those little things away, I think the series was really good. But some people can't get past it at all. I know you said you still enjoyed it, which is fair, like, do you mean? And some people have said they can't get past that, and that's ruined it for them. But for me, yeah, they were quite silly and they were a bit stupid, some things, like for dramatic effect. But overall, I did like the series, and I thought all beforehand. The points I wanted was obviously good duels between Obi Wan and Vader. We got that.
Yeah.
I wanted to see, like, Leia and Luke a bit. So Luke wasn't in it so much, but he was a bit. But Leia, I thought her character was fantastically written. I thought the actress was brilliant, and I don't like a lot of like kid actors, actresses, but I thought, wow, she's doing a really good job. Like, some of the things you think, oh yeah, cheeky, like kids are, innit? So yeah, I enjoyed that. She was brilliant. And there's a few other characters I liked as well. I liked Hadja. I thought he was a bit of like a Han Solo like character. He's a bit of he's not a cliche hero, is he? He's kind of a bit of what's the word? A bit scummy. Then, is that the right word to use? So like, he's a bit like not
Almost like an
hero like.
anti-hero.
Yeah, he was doing some things he shouldn't be doing then. And at first, like, Obi-Wan notices it, and he says to him, like, you shouldn't be doing that, blah blah blah. He doesn't trust him, and then, as you said in the last episode, then he says to him, like, he says, no, you'll do, like, do you mean, I do trust you, I have faith in you, because he has seen
Yeah.
some of the kind things he's done. He's not a bad guy, he's just done a few bad things maybe, and he wants to kind of stop doing those things and help out. So, Obi-Wan gives him a chance in then, because he's proven himself, which was really good, and I'd like to see more of him. He was quite funny, he had like these little quirks about him, isn't it? So I like Leia,
Yeah.
I liked Hadja. Obi-Wan, obviously, he's brilliant acting throughout. Ewan McGregor. It was nice to see him have like a different kind of feel to him. If you mean, like, in the films, he was like mostly happy, jokey, and in this, then he was like saddened at the start, and then he gradually got back to himself. Like, he was weak, and then he found his powers again, to the point then when he had the fight with Vader. Like, that's the strongest I've ever seen him. I mean, he picked up like 30 rocks and threw it at him, and then, like, in the end beat him badly, innit? So like, Vader had no chance in the end, which was nice to see, because I wouldn't want Obi-Wan to be destroyed, because I think it would spoil like the New Hope, because there's a saying he says in it, and he goes, oh, when I left you, I was the apprentice, like, now I'm the master, sort of thing. So obviously Obi-Wan must have like beat him in a fight for that saying to be true. So it was nice to see, to be honest. And if this is the last series, I know I want more, but it was been a pretty good series if it hadn't. Like, I mean, so yeah. Um, any characters you liked? I think you said you liked Tala last. Yeah, I don't know if that's because of the looks though. Like I know you mentioned that she's quite attractive. But yeah, it's a bit. Yeah, I know you.
No, no, no. I do like Tal. I think she says look good for age, mate. I'm not saying that. It's not because of looks. I like. I do. I just like her character. Like she'd. As I said, she's quick. She was witty. Like when she was like, she's worked her way through. Like it showed as well. She said like, oh, I've done some bad things or whatever. But like for the end goal of like for the path and all that, and to infiltrate, and getting them be able to help people out in the future.
Yeah,
Um, but like, yeah, I just think like she's just had a really good character, like smart, witty, and like she was a good ally for them. I could see that she's gonna get killed like, eventually. Um, but I just think just an all round good character. She was good. Leah as well was just brilliant for a child as a like child actress. Then um, there's not loads, but like she played it like she was so grown up as well. But that was kind of the point. Some people said they didn't necessarily like that she was so grown up um, because of she was young. Um, but that just shows like she's so smart for her age.
yeah.
Um,
Like Princess Leia in the films, she's witty, she's smart, and so it kind of makes
yeah,
sense to me. Like I think that was good in my opinion.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, as you said, I don't just obviously Ewan McGregor. He's just brilliant anyway. Like, do you know what I mean? There's
Yeah,
like, I don't think there's much to say there. But yeah, same as you, like Haja Roken at first. I was like, oh, I don't know, he's a bit cliche, and I don't know if I'm fussed. He grew with me a bit as well, especially like when the more like airtime they give him, like his character grew on me a bit more.
yeah.
And Lola,
Lola.
was it another the little droid?
Yeah, the little droid. Oh, you like the little droid.
Little droid, I think the little droid's cool, man.
Oh, the camera's gone a bit funny again. There you
Oh,
are. Bit more, bit more. There, sorted.
there we. Yeah,
Oh, you like the
Lola.
acting of the droid, you do?
Well, the droid came like an evil little droid, didn't it? And then
Oh, droids' rights. Like we got to praise the droids too. Got to humanize them a bit.
yeah, everyone's on about the humans for Lola. Like,
Yeah, no.
I even like that. Was it Lord the droid? Anyway, like it was like, even though everyone was like, "Oh, yeah, they're stupid. They don't understand anything." Like, but it had like some people didn't like that, saying it had like humanistic, like it showed almost kind of emotion, the Lord droid thing. Because it protected Tala, and also went obviously to help Obi Wan. And when they came in, he had like a wrench, and he was like behind his or whatever it was, behind his back to attack him. Um, so some people saying it was maybe a bit too human that ride, but I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
the thing is, like, there's a thing in Star Wars, right? The longer the droids kind of are functioning, they kind of gain like a sort of like a consciousness, and they have their own thoughts and feelings. So like, there's a way of stopping that, as if they like wipe their memory. But if it hasn't been wiped, they kind of have like emotions like a human person, innit? Just think of
mm,
C-3PO. They wiped him, so he couldn't remember anything from the first three episodes. But then as time went on, he gained like a personality again, as you see in the films.
yeah. No, yeah. So yeah, main characters. Yeah, Ewan McGregor, Tala, um, Leia's really good. Roken's increased a bit towards the end, but I like Haj a lot. So if I had to have like a top three characters, then maybe I'd say obviously Obi Wan, Leia, and I like Carter a lot, but no,
Haja or
Tala.
Tala? That's
No,
the fight, isn't it? Which one is it?
Tala.
Tala.
No, I just Tala's good character, and it's not just because I think she's good looking, right?
Yeah, it probably is. Come on, how could he not have Haja on the list? He was great.
And he was good,
Yeah,
yeah.
so kind of similar what we did.
What's your top three?
Yeah, my top three is similar. I would say Ewan McGregor number one, Leia number two, and then I would do Haja. I liked Haja. I like Tala too, but I wouldn't put her in the top three. I don't know. I just liked Haja was funny. Like he's one of the few characters in the show that actually like made me laugh a bit. If you know what I mean.
Like broke it up a little bit with the seriousness of some scenes and made a bit more
Yeah, you know,
fun.
it's sad Obi Wan, and then like he kind of yeah, as you said, it made it a bit happier, like a bit more mellow, a little bit like. So yeah, I like that. Are you
Oh
looking
wait, can I
forward to any like series coming up?
just none of us have mentioned River in that.
Yeah, to be honest, I I didn't like that she was quite weak. I thought like she kept like losing all the time in battles. She kept like being bullied by people, and I liked her at the start, but I thought she would have been a bit stronger. She would have put up a bit more of a fight. Like the fifth
Is
brother
that
kept
not
bullying her, and she couldn't do anything about it. Like Darth Vader force choked her in front of
not
everyone. She didn't do
like
anything, and then she lost the Darth Vader fight. But it was like it wasn't even close. It was embarrassment. So like I don't know. I didn't like her because she wasn't very strong in the end.
yeah, but you have to remember as well, though, she only had like basic probably training, like as being a youngling. How much more training did she have after that? Also, did she not want to like highlight her force and make so much of a thing because of she didn't want to highlight it to Vader? Um, do you know what I mean? And obviously, I'm not being funny against Vader anyway. There's like hardly anyone who can do much to him. I mean, as we've seen earlier on, before Obi Wan even beat Anakin, is his force back a bit more, getting a bit stronger in the force again. Without that force, he couldn't really like, do much himself. So, I mean, is Raver in your top five then? Like we were revisiting after Obi Wan, Leia, and Tala, then I would put it in my top five. Then I've got like
Yeah,
Haja and Raven. I'd probably put maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm struggling for four and five. Maybe if I was pressed on it, I'd probably put Raver then Haja. Yeah. Whereas Haja was fun and he did break it up and stuff for me, he's more of like an outer character, and as you said, just like a breaker up, an excessive like supporting role,
yeah.
whereas she's more the main character in it. Um, so yeah, she'd probably be fourth, and then has a fifth for me. So would you have
Um,
any top fives?
yeah, I wouldn't have a fourth thought. I'd put her fifth, and I think
Who's
fourth
fourth
I
for
would
you
have
then?
Tala because I did like Tala as well. Like, so yeah, similar. Well, we've got all the same characters, but we put them a different
It's
bit
not.
differently in the rankings. Like, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
That is, yeah. I don't think anyone else can come close to that top five, in my opinion. Like, I like the fifth brother if we're talking a little bit outside, but he wasn't in it so
Yeah.
much to put him up higher up. Like, Bail
Then
Organa was quite good, but he wasn't in it for very long either. He had like brief appearances.
Inquisitor,
Owen was good, but once again, he wasn't in there long enough. So that top five is cemented for me. I couldn't put anyone else in it.
Grand Inquisitor to.
Yeah, outside a little bit, but um,
Mm,
I don't know. I don't know. It just didn't connect him much, to be honest. Like I liked that he came back to life. Obviously, because he had like he's got two stomachs in it. That must be. It didn't even explain that
yeah.
to me, but I know from
No,
reading
no.
that he had two stomachs. That must be the reason why. But they didn't even explain how he came back to life. Like I thought that was a bit weird, to be honest. They should have said something about it. But yeah, I liked that he did come back to life. That gave his character a bit more to him. Um, and I liked that he was a bit. What can I say? He was a bit like confrontational with Raver. Like there's a bit more dynamic to it. Like if they all liked Raver, I think it would have been a bit boring in it. So there's a bit like bit of tension in the team, innit? They weren't the dream team. Yeah, there's a few series coming out. Soccer series. There is the Acolyte. Um, there's a few other ones, like there's Bad Batch. It's like a cartoon, the cartoon Star Wars one, and there's Visions. Is there any that you have seen? Have you seen any of the? Oh, Andor. I forgot about that one. Is there any that you're interested in? Or you've watched trailers for, information about?
No, as I said, I'm an open book. I'm just open to like experience and watch anything now. I have think I've seen a small trailer for Andor, and I know you've briefly talked about that before a little bit, so
Yeah,
that'd be interesting to see. But yeah, I know there's like cartoon kind of series and stuff like that as well. That's not really my thing so much. I
yeah,
prefer mainly live action kind of stuff. So I'd be more interested in that kind of thing, you know.
yeah. Same with
Um,
me. Same with me. I watched a little bit of it. I watched a bit of Bad Batch, but compared to the live action, it's no
yeah,
competition really.
it just doesn't, like it
Yeah,
doesn't get me going then, so to speak, as much. So
yeah. Well, saying that, I did like the some of the Visions episodes. I didn't like them all. Some of them a bit boring. Um, they were okay, but some of them I thought were a bit over the top. So I kind of have an interest in watching that. The Acolyte looks cool. It's supposed to be about like dark side energy sort of thing in the end of the High Republic, which is like uh, just before some. Oh, another one I forgot as well. Yeah, it's just before. Well, it's like the end of the High Republic, so it's before the Phantom Menace, things like that. So it's like leading up to it, which should be interesting. Because it doesn't say Sith or anything. It just says like a dark force or something. And from what I've read about it, it's kind of like sort of like a horror. It's like an action horror, which is a bit different. Um, so that'd be cool. They got the Tales of the Jedi, which is a cartoon as well. But I do have a bit of interest in that because they have Liam Neeson back as Qui-Gon in it, and it says like it's little stories they do, and they got Count Dooku, people like that. I know the actor died from Count Dooku, but they're probably going to use the Clone Wars actor for that. But I like that they go and do a few stories you kind of not heard about. You don't know much about Qui-Gon. He's only in the first film. Maybe he's going to lead on to something else. If they're going to say films like that, maybe he's going to be involved in series 2 of Obi Wan or something else, which would be quite cool. And Andor, I liked Rogue One, so it should be good. Um, be nice to see Vader back in it, even a little bit. I wouldn't want too much of him in it, though, to be honest, because we've had quite a lot of him in Obi-Wan now, so I want to give time to the other people, if you know what I mean. Um, the thing I'm looking forward to the most is Ahsoka, though, because I liked her character in, well, The Mandalorian, Boba Fett, and the Clone Wars. Nice to see, and then she's in Rebels as well, and they've also got Rebels characters in it. They got some of the Rebels team, like Ezra, Kanan. There's like a few extra Jedi you've only seen the cartoon that are being changed over to live action, which should be cool. And Thrawn as well.
yeah,
He's a different type of villain. He's very tactical. He's not just all about bombing people. He's known as a tactician, which you don't really see so much in the Empire and villains. Like he's really tactical, and he actually wins battles like quite often. So that'd be quite cool. And obviously, Mandalorian's not far off. think that was February or March next year, so I'm interested in that. So there's a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
Question for you though: where would you put Obi Wan out of all the Star Wars series there's been so far? Where would you put Obi Wan ranking?
Ooh, I don't know. Like, I really liked like Mandalorian as well.
Yeah,
Um, so I don't know. Obviously, there's more of that as well, isn't it? And
yeah,
it's a bit different, but and it'd be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to see like what happens with like all the characters now, and like what's the link up gonna be? Like, are they gonna link us all up somehow? You know?
yeah,
Uh, I don't know. It was really good. For me, like Mandalorian was such a good series as well. It's like, but then again, some people arguing was the second series as good as the first series of Mandalorian. Um, but overall, I don't know. I like them both. Them two series are really good. You know.
yeah. For me, I think Mandalorian maybe slightly beats this. Like, I think, well, as you said, there's more episodes. They've more chance to kind of build the story and stuff, and build the characters. I think the fight scenes were better in Obi-Wan, but that's probably because there's more lightsaber battles and things like that. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of shooting in Mandalorian, which is good, and I liked seeing it. But I'm a fan of the lightsaber battles, the little sword-like things. I think they're the coolest. The little duels, like
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Mandalorian for me that still hasn't been beaten. So I would put that first, Obi-Wan second, um, and I prefer the live action. So I would put Boba Fett third, but
Yeah.
I it was okay. There was some boring bits in Boba Fett, but overall it was alright. It wasn't too bad. So yeah, I would do those, and I wouldn't even put the. I don't know too much about the cartoons to put them in. I've watched Bad Batch. It was alright. I've seen some of the Clone Wars. Rebels was good, but that was before. Do you mean that was quite a while ago now? Um, yeah, there's a few things. Visions was alright. That's about it really. So yeah, lot to look forward to. Um,
Yeah.
a lot. So I think we're done here today. We will be back at some point. Not probably talking about the Obi-Wan series because that's done. It feels a bit empty for me at the moment. I don't know. It's not. I know there's no more episodes coming up, and this has kind of taken over my life for the past 6 weeks or 5 weeks that it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's strange there's nothing else coming up. But yeah, there'll be Andor out soon anyway, and there's a few more things to talk about. Maybe we'll have a little session talking about the films. Maybe we could see our thoughts on the films, the rankings. Um,
Yeah.
so overall general review of it would be interesting. So yeah,
Yeah.
hope you enjoyed, everyone. Um, till the next time on
Star